It's been a minute. I know. It's been at least 2 months since I've done one of these, and that's my fault. If you're new here, welcome to the vlog. My name is Dallas Taylor. I'm a spoken word artist in Buffalo trying to bring real life into poetry. So, welcome to the channel, and I will be more consistent in being here. What had happened was, I did have something recorded, but I was cleaning out my memory card, and in my head I was like, all right, these are already on my computer or on my phone, so they're good there. I can just delete these off the memory card. Not realizing that I did not move them over to the computer or my phone to edit and post. So essentially, I deleted everything. Time away from the vlog has given me some time to think about what I want to do with this, what my vision for this is, and I realized I still need time to get comfortable in front of the camera and talking to you. I still need time to develop that, and I was inspired a little bit during WNBA All-Star Weekend watching the Stud Buds. I know, wild. But listen, shout out to them. They ran WNBA All Star Weekend. They were like, you needed to find them. Wherever they were, that's where the party was. You needed to find them. They did a 72-hour stream of the All Star Weekend, and just the way they are together, but on camera, just real, authentic, and black, honestly. And I feel like I need to tap into that more. Not that I haven't been, but it's been a little bit limited because of my little bit of awkwardness talking to a camera by myself in a room. So I'm gonna be working on that, and hopefully it can be a little bit more engaging, and hopefully it can allow me to have more fun with this. Not that I haven't been having fun with this, but I want to have more fun with this. So that's the vision, that's the goal for this vlog, along with being more consistent and being here for it. So, where have I been? In June, I and a couple of other poets, local poets in Buffalo, went down to the Southern Fried Poetry Slam in Knoxville, Tennessee. I had a couple of main takeaways from that National Poetry Slam. My number one takeaway was last year I was very impressed. I was like, wow, okay, there's another level to this that I wasn't quite aware of. And I'm like, okay, I need to step it up a little bit. This year, I was like, oh, I belong here. I belong on these stages. I belong here competing with these other poets. Like, my stuff is just as good as a lot of these people. Not that I wasn't impressed, but it was more of a affirmation for me and confirmation for me. Like, all right, you're doing the work that you've improved on. You've gotten so much better at this, and you feel good about it that you don't walk into these tournaments and poetry slams feeling a little bit intimidated and like so much pressure's on you to get it right, get it right, get it right. Now it's like, no, you got it. You got it. I made so many great connections there that I hope to continue to foster. And it's funny because I didn't quite get a lot of respect and recognition. I got a little bit here and there for the poetry, but I feel like I got a lot more during a basketball game. So apparently every Southern Fried Poetry Slam, wherever they are, group of guys, group of people get together and have a basketball game. So I was like, I hoop. So I went down there, hooped with them, and I was hooping, y'all. I was hooping. I was getting buckets, but then my glasses came off. And once my glasses come off, I can't see. So I didn't make a single shot once the glasses came off. But I feel like I gained a lot of respect there, and that's where a lot of those connections were made too. I feel like that's the human element of just anything, really, when you can really bond with people, and it's not always just competition based where someone does a good poem, You're like, oh, that was really cool. That was really dope. That was nice. That was nice. That's cool. But then when you're in a different environment where now you're a team, now you're with someone, you're a team, building that chemistry. And basketball is one of those sports where you get a group of people together and just start playing. It's easy how a connection can just spark just like that. So that was a really cool moment, and I was very proud of myself for getting out of my shell a little bit and building those connections, and now working on fostering those connections and try to get something out, not like transactional, but make those connections worth it, because that's what the whole tournament is all about. It's about the poetry, but it's also about connecting with other poets and working together and bringing people into your community and sharing stories that we have. So I have to work on that. My second takeaway from the Poetry Slam was there's another level that I can take this to and that I would like to take my poetry to. And that's this element of storytelling and character development. I saw a lot of poems where someone would take on the identity of a character and tell the poem as that character, where at points it almost wasn't even a poem, it was like an actor on stage doing a monologue. And that's where I want to take my poetry next. There's a poet named Moses, and he had a poem about a father who was roaming the streets after the devastation of Hurricane Katrina, and he would roam the streets just muttering the words to himself, hammer and nail, hammer and nail. And then the poem is basically about him telling the story of how the water is rushing into his house. He's trying to get his kids upstairs, trying to find a hammer and a nail so we can board up the house so the kids don't get stuck in the water, and eventually it doesn't make it. And now he's just left wandering the streets, muttering hammer and nail. And it was so powerful and it was so moving. And I think that's the kind of stuff I want to do now, using my own theater background, acting experience, now added with the poetry and the writing experience, to blend those two together and really, really make something powerful and moving. I do have an idea that is brewing in my head, this idea of David and Goliath, where I'll be the character of David telling the story of taking down Goliath. Traditionally, how the story is told, David takes down Goliath, and usually that's the end of the story. But if you keep reading the Bible, that's not the end of the story. He goes over, takes Goliath's sword, and finishes him off that way. The message there is you can't just knock down your problems, you have to finish your problems. And also, God will sometimes use what the enemy was going to use against you and allows you to use it against the enemy. So I want to get those points across, and I'm still building that out, but I cannot wait till I find that rhythm and get that out, because it's going to be really, really cool and really, really powerful, I think. Other than that, I've just been out and about, hosting different poetry open mics, attending different poetry open mics, going to poetry slams. I won my last poetry slam, so I feel good about that. So I'm still out and about doing poetry. I just haven't been able to come to the camera to share it with you all. And again, that's my fault. I will be much, much better about that. At least I'll try to. Hopefully in the fall, I can really, really get started on this poetry book. I really need to do that. I would like you all hold me accountable so that way I get this poetry book done. That's my goal this year. It's got to get done. I've got to do it. So hopefully future vlogs we can write together and really get this thing moving. So, and it'll be self-published. So if anybody has any self-publishing tips, please don't be afraid to reach out to your boy. I need to know. I need the help. Please, please help a brother out. So thank y'all for watching. Again, my name is Dallas Taylor. Don't forget to like, subscribe, stay black, stay blessed. Peace out.